Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. Each week, as you know, we feature and premiere an upcoming TV series that is debuting here in Ireland and the UK. Our special feature this week is Mike. It's already debuted over in the United States in Channel Hulu, but it's debuting here in Ireland and the UK, our next door neighbours, on September the 8th on Channel Disney+. Mike, as you know, as you've probably seen the trailers for us so far, it's all about the life story of the heavyweight champion, one of the all-time boxing greats, Mike Tyson. It's 8 episodes. It's a mini documentary, and some of the guests, some of the actors who play prominent roles in it are Trevante Rhodes, who plays the role of Mike Tyson, Russell Hornsby, who plays the role of Don King, and our special guest this evening, Johnny Alexander, who portrays heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield, and also another former boxing great, Trevor Berbick. And first of all, Johnny, I do believe you're an established sort of stunts guy. Is this the first time you've ever portrayed boxers on a TV series before?
No, it hasn't. I've worked on with Leah Schreiber. We did a couple boxing scene on his show.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was came in just working with him with sparring, and then from there my name started getting known that I'm the boxer to work with actors and stuntmen. So that's how I started getting more roles from that. And it was Ray Donovan, the show.
Ray Donovan, yeah.
Yes.
A famous sort of show indeed, Johnny. And Johnny, when you saw, how did the opportunity first of all come about for you to land the role in Mike? Was you recommended for the role, where they were looking for a stuntsman in terms of someone who'd be a body double, in terms of who'd have the same sort of stature and physique as a young Evander Holyfield? Were they looking for special characteristics in terms of a lookalike, dare I say, stuntman?
Well, yeah, first they were actually looking for someone who can portray Trevor Berbick.
Okay.
And my name got thrown in there. It's like, hey, Johnny's a great boxer. He's got amateur experience. He works with pros. So he's going to be able to handle whatever Trevante Rhodes can throw at him, and like some aggression, and just being able to make some great choreography. So from there, I get out to New Orleans, is where we film. And when I get there, I'm working with the stunt team, and they see how my boxing skills were and how I was able to work with Trevante and how we put that scene together, and the production really liked it. Now, fast forward, I get back home here in LA. They give me a call, like, hey, Johnny, can you come back out to New Orleans and help with this? We got this really big boxing scene coming up at the end of the episodes. I'm like, yeah, sure. Help these fighters, make sure they look good, train them a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. So long story short, production was having a problem with the original actor that was supposed to play Evander. It was stuff like he wasn't getting back to him. So it was just like, it wasn't working out for him. So production got in a pickle. They ended up letting him go. And they're like, man, they're looking around. Who can play Evander? What are we going to do? And then like all eyes shift to me like, wow, we have Evander right here. So that's how that came into fruition. And that's how it. And it's funny because growing up, I'm always told like, man, you look like a young Evander Holyfield. So I'm like, it just works, hard work, and it just works its way out.
And
so then I became Evander.
Yeah, and Johnny, obviously growing up, you're probably, as you mentioned, you're a skilled boxer yourself. So growing up, were you a sort of an Evander Holyfield fan as well? Because dare I say, Trevor Berbick's a famous name, but Evander Holyfield, you just go up tenfold in terms of boxing greats there.
Oh yeah, I was definitely Evander Holyfield. I remember even the fights they had when he first fought Mike. Just watching it on pay-per-view, just the excitement. I'm like, man, this is great. And just like seeing Evander come up from the cruiserweight and just start dominating the heavyweight division, it was just something pretty cool to me, because like, this little guy's going to mess around with the big guys, and he proved himself, and he was kicking some butt.
And I suppose in terms of the choreography that goes on in portraying boxing scenes inside the ring, is it, dare I say, is it very much, there's a good lot of it is actually sort of physical, but it's honed to a point where no one gets sort of hurt? Or how do you sort of mimic? Is it almost like professional wrestling in terms of reactions sort of stuff, in terms of how you sort of train yourself, facial expressions to take a shot in a jaw or inch if you got a stomach shot, or how does that sort of actually start to work in terms of portraying those sort of facial emotions?
No, you hit the nail on the head. It takes a lot of acting, so that's why great stunt performers are also great actors, because you're taking these reactions, and some don't actually hit you; they just go across your face. But you got to make sure you have the reaction, you got the facial emotion of, man, I just got hit in the face, that hurt. But what we try to do is rewatch the fights, and we're trying to take really bits and pieces from that, like the big components of the fight, and then throw it in there. But there are times where me and Trevante, we got pretty physical in there. We were hitting each other just to make it look more real. And I think that was the goal of production, is to make this look real as possible versus, there's some boxing shows where it's just off the scale, where it's just too much punches thrown, too much reactions. So we want to keep it real as possible. And there's sometimes we were actually like making contact, but everything was safe. And I think also one of the reasons why they brought me in, because of my boxing skills, I can keep the actors safe while we still make it look real.
And I suppose, Johnny, one thing that sort of portrayed me, and I know stunts team and choreography and obviously play an important role, but in heavyweight boxing sort of fights, you know yourself, after 8 or 9 or 10 rounds, the boxers perspire. There's an awful lot of perspiration. There's an awful lot of looks in terms of eyes. You're going in and you're sort of choreographing sort of maybe 5 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes, or to say, how does that sort of do that? Is that almost up to the visual effects sort of team and the makeup and designs to get you feel like that you've basically gone 20 rounds basically against each other?
Oh, no, we're keeping it real. We're doing push-ups in between scenes. We're doing jump squats. We want a real sweat. We didn't want to have makeup department, spritz this up. We wanted the real sweat. We want it to be tired. There were times where we do a couple takes, we take a breath, and we go right away, just so we had that realism of being tired. But yeah, that was all real. And even with Trevante, he brought in boxing coach Ann Wolf, who was an accomplished boxer herself, one of the women's best knockouts. And they put in a lot of work in pre-production to move like Mike, to even have the body style of Mike. So our boxing skills were very high, and we were able to show that in those scenes.
Okay. And I suppose it's in 8 episodes, and you appeared in sort of 7 and episode 8 in terms of Evander Holyfield. The role of Trevor Berbick, I imagine, was probably earlier on in terms of that. And obviously, I suppose, dare I say, you probably had the small little afro side for a week in terms of for Berbick. How did that go? Did you manage to keep that, Johnny? Hold on to that as a souvenir?
There were so much super glue on my head just to keep that bad boy on, with how much I was sweating. And unfortunately, I did not get to keep it. I'm kind of disappointed in that. I wanted that as a momentum. But yeah, you're correct. Trevor Berbick will be earlier on. And then you'll see probably around episode 2. And then you'll see the Holyfield action in 7 and 8. But yeah, it was just overall a great experience. And I think makeup department did very well to make the variation of why I'll look like Trevor here, but then you see me as Evander, you might not notice at all, because, I have the mustache, the bald head versus the afro, no mustache, no facial hair.
And I suppose in terms of, we know Trevor Berbick and Evander Holyfield are different type of boxers, and I suppose the role with Berbick was probably a bit lower. But did you feel that you had to change how you moved in the ring? Because obviously Berbick moved an awful lot different to Evander Holyfield. Did you just start to watch a bit of Berbick as well to try and get a feel for how he sort of moved and how he sort of moved around the ring?
Oh yeah, 100%. I watch a bunch of tape on Berbick where he fights more upright versus, Evander, who gets right in your face, gets tight, fights in the pocket. So it's a lot of different tape I'm watching. It's like, all right, I got my idea of Berbick. He's a stand-up fighter. He's more of a counterpuncher. He doesn't want to go in too much. Versus Holyfield, he's going to bring the war to you. He's going to be a little dirty. And so all that helped me become the character of Holyfield, just watching tape after tape.
Okay. And Johnny, obviously, apart from yourself and Trevante, who worked an awful lot together in the scenes, were there any times you got to interact with other members of the cast, like Russell Hornsby, for example?
Oh yeah, because in a lot of the scenes, there's like Russell's yelling at me, talking trash to me. So, and then even times we're in the dressing room, just both getting our afros in, because he's playing Don King, so he's got that tall hair. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got to talk to a lot with Russell, and it's just a fun experience. You're going to see some other uh, celebrity characters that are also going to be put into this, and you're like, oh, that's that guy. I'm not going to give any spoilers out, but it's going to be a good experience. But yeah, Russell was great as Don. Just so much energy, and he played it to a T. I was very impressed by his performance.
And I watched the trailers and I watched a bit of it there in terms of the series one. And I was struck by, obviously, we know about Trevante, how much he honed in on his boxing skill. But obviously, Mike Tyson is very hard to mimic in terms of his voice, in terms of how he sort of speech, how he sort of pronunciation of sort of words. And obviously, to do Mike justice, obviously, some people have tried it and their facial expressions will be all over the place. But Trevante manages to keep his facial expressions, but also to a real par, but also mimic the sort of voice of Mike Tyson, which is an awful hard feat to do, I suspect.
Oh yeah, he had the mannerisms down to a T. And he also, even during our boxing scenes, just the movement themselves, his boxing coach, Ann, was just really on him. It was like, hands are close, peekaboo style. So you could tell he put the work behind it. It wasn't like overdone or character. It's like, okay, he's bringing Mike, but there's still some Trevante in it that keeps it grounded and a good performance.
And I suppose, Johnny, what's been the feedback for you in terms of the reaction so far? Obviously, it's debuted in the United States. It's gone down a treat over there. I've seen the trailers, like over 15 million views as well. Has it been a sort of a fun sort of reaction for you? Has it been busy since, an awful lot of acclaim coming your way?
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I'm getting friends calling me. It's like, hey, you let him beat you up like that? Because normally, even I do my boxing, I'm the one who gives out the punches versus take the punches. So it's just I'm getting a lot of fun from my friends to give me a hard time, like you getting beat up and stuff, or just making fun of me with the afro because I'm normally this all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then go on.
Continue.
Oh yeah, and then it's just for work, it's just I'm getting opportunities to speak to people like you and then explain my story, and this is all good, and hope the energy keeps rolling, and we go from there.
Yeah, and I suppose, Johnny, in terms of production, were there long days on shoots? What was your working week like, for example, on Mike? Obviously, you appeared in 7 and 8, and they were probably your two busiest sort of episodes. So just as they ran concurrent, what was that sort of like? Was it a 2 week sort of non-stop in terms of those filming of those sort of two episodes in particular? Were there long days?
Oh yeah, most definitely, like 16-hour days, but it even started before that where we were there weeks before just getting the choreography right. Because as they were filming most of the, other scenes outside the boxing arena, we had to make sure when it was our time to shine, it's like, all right, we're on point. We got the choreography down. And then we also had to make time to teach Trevante when he came in, when he had time away from set. So the days were long, and we were there a couple weeks before we were supposed to shoot because we wanted to really like make it real as possible and keep everyone safe, because with these Trevante got pretty muscular and pretty strong for this role. So just one bad punch, you're going to feel it from him. So we were make sure we're on point with choreography, training. So yeah, a normal, like, all right, a episode shoots in a week. We were there for a good couple months, just putting in work.
Okay. And Johnny Alexander, I know it's a busy time for you in terms of other projects in the pipeline at the moment. Are we going to see you in terms on our TV screens here in Ireland and in the near sort of future? Have you anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, hope you guys get to see me in Black Panther 2, also Avatar 2, which comes out in December. So look forward to those. And those are going to be some fun movies, and pretty excited for those.
And finally, we're going to turn it over to the Johnny Alexander, the one and only Evander Holyfield himself. And he might enlighten all our audience for the final 30 seconds why they should tune in on September the 8th on channel Disney Plus to watch the mini documentary TV series of Mike and what's in store for them. Over to you, Evander Holyfield.
Well, definitely tune in because you're going to see some excitement. You're going to see the real Mike. You're going to see the behind stories, not just the ups. You're also going to see the downs. You're going to see some great fight choreography. And you get to see my ear get bitten off. No, but you get to see just a lot of work get put together to make a great project. And hopefully you guys like it.
On that note, Johnny Alexander, a pleasure talking to you today on the airwaves to preview the upcoming TV series Mike, which is debuting here in Ireland on channel Disney Plus on September 8th. Do check it out. If you're a Evander Holyfield fan, do check out Johnny's performance and role as Evander Holyfield. It's no doubt a treat to be in store. But for the moment, Johnny, take care, God bless, and hopefully we'll speak to you, no doubt, in the future and probably talk a bit more about Avatar sometime in the near future. But for the moment, Johnny, take care and God bless.
All right, thank you, James. Have a good one.
Cheers.